Good morning, grant writers. Rebecca Tuttle here, founder and principal of Grant Right Now and Grant Writing for Good. Thank you for joining us this morning for Grant Right Now Live. I'm really excited. We have a special guest today. Sistah Anyango joins us from the FLYY Movement. The FLYY Movement asserts that we create experiences to create change. Every goal that FLYY Movement has is centered around transformation. And FLYY empowers women to assert their needs, wants, and desires to change through African dance, meditation, as well as the healing arts. I'm really excited to introduce the woman behind the FLYY Movement, Sistah Anyango. She is an empowerment freedom coach, a motivational speaker, as well as a fitness professional. Sistah counsels through therapeutic support and movement, and by processing key moments. Sistah Anyango helps women heal through personal trauma and release those limiting beliefs that block their ability to live their dreams. She helps women create their own journey so that they can move forward in the life that they desire. Welcome to Grant Right Now Live, Sistah Anyango. How are you today?
Good morning, Rebecca, and thank you. It's my pleasure to be here to join you, to have a conversation, to talk about FLYY. So thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here and join with all of your FLYY community. Thank you.
I know we're going to have a great show today. I can't wait to hear. So tell me about the FLYY Movement. How did you get started?
So FLYY is an acronym, which means freedom to love the you and you. It is always your opportunity to free up the energy in your body, love and accept yourself for exactly who you are, right here in this moment, not your next birthday, your next celebration, your next special occasion. It's an opportunity to be free, to love and accept yourself right here in this moment. FLYY was created in 2007 as an opportunity to give women 40 plus that ability to feel free, to feel comfortable in their own bodies, their own minds, their own hearts, their own spirits. It really became an opportunity. I was sitting in a conference in 2007, and we had to create a program. I knew that the program was going to be FLYY because there was something about the energy of FLYY. You have this energy of feeling good, of feeling comfortable, feeling confident. So I knew I was creating this program with that energy. I also knew it wasn't going to be the regular spelling, which was FLY, but two Y's. I also knew it was going to be an acronym. Freedom and love were absolutely going to be a part of that acronym, but I wasn't quite sure about the two Y's. So I'm in a conversation with my brother, and I'm sharing this with him, and I'm like, I'm fiddling with the two Y's. So he came, well, what about younger you? And I said, nah, because I want women to feel comfortable in their bodies in the moment. So I'm playing with the words, you, and you. I was like, that's it, you in you. Freedom to love the you in you. So when we launched the energy in 2007 at the NBC Health and Wellness Festival, the commentator was going to give me the mic to introduce all of us who had gathered to talk about FLYY. Myself and my three daughters and two of my sister friends were with me. And so they asked me, how are you going to introduce us? And I said, I have no idea. So literally, when she hands me the mic, out of my mouth comes, freedom to love the you and you. And I'm engaging the crowd and saying, now when I say who's FLYY, you have to say I'm FLYY. So literally, for now 13 years, we're coming up on 14 years, this October 7th of 2021, whether you've known me for 1 minute or 14 years, 13 years, when you hear me say, freedom to love the you and you, who's FLYY, you're going to say, I'm FLYY, because there's something special and unique about you. And thus, that's how the FLYY movement was birthed. 2007, it was FLYY Fitness, primarily around fitness experiences. When we rebranded after our 10th anniversary, it became FLYY Fitness Healing in the Arts because I found that more healing needed to take place in terms of body, mind, heart, and spirit. Now, 2020, we rebranded for the last time called the FLYY Movement because we realized this energy is not just a moment, but it's a movement to feel empowered, to feel free, to love yourself, to accept yourself. And again, our sweet spot would be women 40 plus. And now that I'm 55, now we've introduced this energy of what happens when you start to age? What happens when you start to mature? So I've come into this energy and bringing women now 50 plus along for the journey, that let's start accepting what it feels like to now age with grace and beauty and sage wisdom. So from this point forward, even more so, enriching experiences with movement and mindfulness, always feeling empowered, always feeling free, accepting and loving of self.
I love that. You know, you have so many themes running through your description. Thanks for sharing all of that. I think we've been so isolated this last year and a half, and to have a movement such as yours, to be able to just reaffirm to yourself that, you know, I'm important, I matter. There's things about me that other people love that they should know about, right? And so giving women, especially who tend to kind of stay internally a little bit more about that, that self-empowerment to be able to go out and say, you know what, I am fly. So I'm going to say that, you know, we are fly, right? And
Yes.
it's so much fun, but I like the message behind it and the motivation, because it's really easy to give up. So how do you keep women kind of centered around the idea that keep reminding, keep affirming to yourself that you are someone important so that they don't give up? Because you work with women who have experienced trauma, and I can imagine that must be so difficult. So how do you do that?
Part of it is personalizing the experience, because I don't share anything that I haven't already walked through or experienced myself. So it's given that space of grace to personalize the experience. In other words, when I share more of me and my story, then it gives permission, it opens up that space for any woman to be able to now move through their journey and share their story. One of the ways that we do this is every week, every Saturday, live at 9, we have our Super Soul Filled Saturday Zumba on the Fly. Now, Zumba is the platform that really launched Fly. I've been a Zumba instructor for now 13 years, going on 14. So that's that opportunity to have that movement, mindfulness, but also be affirmed and supported. We have that 1 hour. Well, now it's a little bit longer because of COVID, so I give a little bit longer for us to come into the space, experience the space, and move and be mindful. But it has been that 1 hour for 13 years, just for women. There's no children in this space. To really be able to have that, what I call that oxygen mask moment, to pour into yourself, to be reminded that you are to be number one on that to-do list. You are to be on that front burner. You are number one on your agenda. And if there's struggles around that, then we work with that. We process that and we determine why is that the case. More often than not, it's because women are the nurturers. So our goal has always been to take care of everyone else before we start taking care of ourselves, if we take care of ourselves at all. So my impetus for 13 years has been, you need to take care of yourself first. You are number one on your to-do list, on your agenda. You must put that oxygen mask on yourself first before you can assist anyone else. You must continue to pour into yourself so that when you pour out, there's something in your vessel to pour out onto others. This prevents you from depleting. This prevents you from flatlining. This prevents you from not having the ability to live your life in the way that you want and desire and to choose. So every week, live at 9, Super Soul Filled Saturday, Zumba on the Fly. We're coming in, we're circling, we're loving each other, nurturing each other, supporting each other. And then we're doing this Zumba thing, dancing and laughing and singing. And then we affirm each other again in that circle before we depart this space. So by the time you leave, you have more inside yourself to navigate whatever is on your platter, because let's face it, we've gone from plates to platters. So you have more within yourself to navigate now, whatever's on your platter when you leave the space. 13 years and running, getting ready to get into that 14th year, and I can't wait, because the shifts I've seen in myself, the shifts I've seen in hundreds of women who've come through the fly doors in the past 13 years is unbelievable, and no end in sight.
I love that. You know, you're giving us so much information. I wish we had an hour for this. You know, just finding the time to make time for 1 hour to take care of yourself is really difficult, but you have to be mindful to find and make the time. And nothing should get in your way of keeping that hour. That hour is yours. And how easily we go through life and everything is so fast paced, we could forget that hour. I love what you're saying. I love what you're sharing. And the other thing that comes to mind is that when you do something for yourself and you're fully immersed in it, which it sounds like you're not just asking women to show up for an hour to talk about things or to teach them a new dance move. You're asking them to show up for an hour with their entire selves. And as you're saying, feel that in your soul. That really does have a lasting effect, and it empowers people. I think what I'm saying is that you are giving us the very definition of empowerment. And I love this. So thanks for coming today.
Absolutely. Thank you. Because that's what it is. When we give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves, when we give ourselves permission to invest in ourselves, then not only do we do that for ourselves, but just in having a conversation, because I'm a mom of 6 royals, 4 that I birthed, 2 that I adopted, having a conversation with my youngest daughter last night about my excitement with being able to come on your show today. Part of what she talked was being able to live this energy of fly. She started when she was 5 and now she's 19. So to be able to live this and see the shifts and see now for her as a young woman, what that means for her to feel empowered and what it feels to not feel empowered. Because let's face it, there's moments when we don't. So what happens when we don't? Where do we go? Where do we get that support? Where do we allow ourselves that permission to that 4-letter word, I need help? Where that word is not an issue of profanity, like, oh my God, if I ask for help, is that going to take something away from me? Am I not going to be viewed upon as the woman of strength that I have positioned myself to be? And the answer to that is no. We all need help. We all need support. We all need love. We were not meant to navigate this thing called life by ourselves. We were meant to navigate in relationship with other people. So it's okay for us to support as well as it is for us to be supported. So that's one of the struggles I work with women in a group setting and in their personal sessions, giving yourself permission to be
right, that permission and reaffirming those permissions. That's really important. Thank you for emphasizing that.
For sure.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was like, oh, we got to point that out. If you're just joining us and you want to pop in the chat, let us know where you're from, how you're coming into this conversation. We would love you to have some interaction and engagement. Now is the time to have these conversations with Sistah while she's available with us for this half an hour. Because I know you're very busy. Now, the FLYY Movement, you have a national mission. So how are you reaching women all over the country?
I will tell you, this is the blessing. COVID struck us all. The pandemic was very traumatic for all of us. There's not any one of us that walked away from this unscathed. All of us have been impacted and affected. For us, we made a decision that we were going to continue to make sure that we were available to all of our FLYY community. So for us in Connecticut, when our stay-at-home order came on the 23rd, we had already pivoted on Zoom on the 21st. So we were prepared. And we've kept that virtual platform open, even though we're climbing out of COVID slowly but surely, and that we're going into spaces live. We still have maintained our virtual platform. And that will be forever and ever, amen. As long as we open up space live, we will open up space virtual. Because we feel like the more that we can reach the masses and open up more to be a part of the FLYY community so that everyone has an opportunity to feel that freedom, feel that love, feel that acceptance from the inside out, and be able to be loved and supported in the journey to manifest that within themselves, then we must keep that virtual platform open and available so that folks can be reached wherever they are in the world.
I love what you're saying. And I can't wait when my foot's better. I broke my foot. I think I might have told you that. When it's better, I can't wait to stop by and visit because now you're reopening, right?
Yes. We actually were able to reopen the studio in August with very limited small numbers, socially distanced, wearing masks. Now that we're a little more open, that more of our FLYY community is fully vaccinated, now we have more numbers on the floor. However, because I'm very, very careful, we're still doing temp checks, we're still wearing masks. But what I do is we'll, run 3 or 4 or 5 songs, and then we split, go to the sides, drop the mask, get some water, refresh, and then come back to return to the floor with masks back on. So it's a safe environment for those
Right, safety.
or not. Because for us,
that's really important. You're creating a safe space,
absolutely,
for the healing and for that release and that empowerment, but you're also creating a safe space for people who are concerned still about COVID.
That's right.
So that's really important. We have a comment here. Adrian says, I love this. She's been with FLYY Movement for over 11 years, and she's personally benefited from Sistah Anyango's messaging. That's great. Welcome, Adrian. Thanks for joining us today.
Awesome.
That's great. Now, can you tell us, you're not just teaching pop or rock, or can you tell us about, you focus specifically on African dance. So with African dance, it's my understanding that there's a lot of culture behind that. There's a lot of sort of silent meditation, silent momentum that goes on when you're learning those dance techniques, those dance practices. Can you talk about that a little with us?
Absolutely. So primarily for the past, in terms of Zumba, terms of the FLYY movement, as I shared earlier, the impetus has been Zumba. Zumba is a celebration of international dance styles and forms. My background from the very beginning, from when I was tiny, has been dance. And every single form possible, from ballet to jazz to point to modern, contemporary. And then I spent a significant amount of time studying African dance and drumming. That became a holistic experience because being able to be involved in African dance and drumming brings about African traditional spirituality. It becomes part of the cultural norm. I got an opportunity to travel in Africa during my undergraduate years. I focused on African American studies during both my bachelor's and master's degrees at Ohio State and Colgate University. So for me, it's a holistic experience, and I bring that experience wherever I go into the FLYY movement. So getting an opportunity to really learn African dance, to really teach African dance, to learn drumming, teach drumming to some extent, and really align what it means to celebrate ancestors, to celebrate the Great Spirit, to celebrate guardian spirits, to be connected with nature, to feel that oneness, to feel that community. Then I get to incorporate that into everything I do. So there's no separation. Thus, even my name, Anyango Ya Asantewa. Anyango is Kija Luo, because I spent time a semester abroad in Kenya, and my home state family named me where I was studying dance and drumming in Kenya. Ya Asantewa is Ghanaian. That was a name that was given to me during my master's program at Ohio State. She's a warrioress, and that energy was said to be very akin to me. So I created my own energy, Anyango Ya Asantewa, which is now my legal name. So with bringing that energy, Anyango by is morning sunshine, and then the warrior energy. So bringing that into everything that I do and really creating this moment of community with movement that kicks out those happy hormones, those endorphins, and then mindfulness, that opportunity to ground and center and balance, the key being your breath. So what I frequently talk about is our ability to energize and then to feel serene. How do we do that? The key to that is your breath. Taking 3 cleansing breaths, inhaling and exhaling, and feeling the energy shift. So at any point, we all have the ability to energize with all the movement and to settle the energy down, balance, and center and ground with our breathing. And that has been what I have learned in terms of African dance and folklore, that which is inside of me, and I get an opportunity to teach that as well.
Those cleansing breaths, and sometimes just stopping, like you're saying, and releasing everything. I do that all the time in grant writing. At Grant Right Now, our mission is grant writing for good. And we're always mindful of not the funding that comes in, but if we teach you what we know, or we help you write grants and you secure that funding and you bring those resources and relief to your community, and the people in the community receive that, that's why we write grants. That's why our mission is Grant Writing for Good, is so that we can help bring and release those stressors. Because, you know, sometimes people might just need you to listen. They might just sit there, right, with you and do that deep cleansing breathing. And they might not participate right away. So in conversations offline with you and Adrian, talking about, you know, how do you help women acclimate to it? And a big part of what you do is teaching women themselves, but also teaching women to help heal other women. So your movement isn't just about you're leading the way, but you're leading an entire FLYY movement, if you will, of other women who are trying to impact other women.
Exactly.
Can you talk about if someone wanted to get involved and become one of your FLYY, what did you call them? You had a name for them, right? Ambassadors, right? Your FLYY ambassadors?
Correct.
Can you talk about your ambassador program a little? Because I think it's fascinating.
Yes, the ambassador program is an opportunity for, the ambassador program is that opportunity for women who are creating an entrepreneurial spirit, who want to have something for themselves to be able to extend to other women. It's an opportunity now to have that flyness created, manifested wherever you are in the world. So as we continue to build this from state to state to state in the US and then globally, this energy of freedom to love the you and you, we want that to be everywhere, from local to global, so that women can then come into this connection of their own journeys and then be able to encourage, empower other women in their towns, in their cities, in their states, in their countries to be able to do the same thing. And here's what begins to happen. The more we do this for ourselves, the more we share this energy with other women, the more we then impact women in our communities and then our children, our daughters. That's so important, because when our daughters see us taking risks, moving into process to journey through healing, to really deal with trauma, to really deal with limiting beliefs, then they see themselves as limitless. The more we do it for ourselves, the more we share it with other women, the more they share it with other women. So we have this and so on and so on and so on energy, the more it impacts our daughters. And now we have generations now of FLYY, generations of freedom to love ourselves from the inside out. Imagine the power with that ability, because then there's nothing that can't be accomplished when you have this freedom, when you have this love from inside of you out. There isn't anything you can't manifest. There isn't any goal that you can't create and achieve. When we talk about greatest goals and deepest desires and blossoming and flourishing, that's all possible. The more work that we do on ourselves from the inside out, the more we embody it from one woman to the next, to the next, to the next. We see this every Saturday morning in the empowerment circle when we come together. Every Saturday morning, we see women who have gone through and now supporting women, other women, right in the circle we're going through. So it's an amazing kind of process that we've created and that we continue to create and build with the FLYY Ambassador initiative energy that's now circulating.
That's really great. And thank you for showing up every Saturday. That's not easy to show up every week for people. I mean, you must get tired, right? You're only human, right? But showing up is really important. And that's how you build community. It's not by purchasing lists, right, for our business, email lists. It's not by buying all of these social media ads, right? It's about showing up for people, being authentic, being truly yourself, and letting other people know you're there for them and that you're going to be there for them. Because in all of this isolation, what I have found is that if I can find or help my family or my friends or my colleagues even find a place that they can connect with consistently, and all of these affirmations that you're talking about today, reminding yourself that, you know, this is a tough day, but I've got this. I have hashtags, right? My affirmations for my clients and students are hashtags. We got this, grant writers. Grant right now. We can do this, right? Let's do this, grant writers. Just reminding our community that we're there for you. We are going to be here for you always. And practice those affirmations. So how can we find you? We didn't talk about where you were, your website, or, you know, what's the best way if we want to get involved today, because I cannot wait to learn more about your ambassador program. I'm super excited about it. And but tell us, how can we find you? What can we do? We're ready.
The quickest way to get in contact with me is to use the FLYY Line. The FLYY Line is 860-778-1862. That's the fastest way to connect with us via phone. Our website, www.FLYY Movement, of course, FLYY, freedom to love the you and you. So www.theflymovement.com. You can feel free to connect with us that way. You will see me on Facebook under Sistah Anyango, my personal profile, also the FLYY Movement, the business profile, and also on Instagram as the FLYY Movement. Any one of those ways you can get in contact with us, and we respond to you very, very quickly. Direct message on either Instagram and Facebook is also a quick way to get in contact with us, and I respond relatively quickly. And we also, Saturdays live at 9, Fred Astaire Dance Studio, West Hartford, 141 South Street. Come jam with us with Zumba on the fly.
I love that. Now, there's no excuse, right, to become a FLYY woman, to put ourselves out there and try this. And, you know, even if we try this and we're scared, right, we say, well, I don't know how to dance, right? I don't know how to dance, but I dance, right? I'm going to put myself out there because it's fun. And once you're in the moment and you start doing it, your body just kind of lets itself go, right? And you're like,
that's right. And that's glad you mentioned that, because there is a dance experience is not necessary. The only thing is to be able to have a moment for yourself, to have fun, move that body, you know, sing and chill with everyone else that's in the set. That's it. And to have that moment for you. That's the number one energy to come into the set with. That's it. Moment for you.
I love it. I love it. This is so much fun. I wish we had more time. We're coming to the end of our live show. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sistah. It's been such a pleasure, and I would love for you to come back.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. Maybe I'll show up in the studio next time and we can do some movement right there live.
That would be great. Now, if you could leave us with any message at all, inspiration, enthusiasm, maybe some motivational messaging, what would you like to leave us with? And please give us a call to action, because I would love to charge our community here at Grant Right Now Live with taking advantage of connecting with the FLYY movement, or just if you can't directly connect with FLYY, please share FLYY with someone else in your community, because we know, right, Sistah Anyango, that there are women out there who need this.
That's right. And so we want
to what can you leave?
That get connected relatively quickly. I would say this: know that you can release the limits off of yourself. Know that you can kick the box, meaning you don't have to live in a box. We typically say think outside the box. No, there is no box. Kick the box. The other thing is 4 words: passion, purpose, prosperity, peace. Allow yourself to get into connection with what you're passionate about, what you would envision yourself doing every day for the rest of your life and it not feel like work. Allow that to guide you into your purpose. And then right behind that is where your prosperity lies. And then you get to live in peace. Passion, purpose, prosperity, peace. Releasing the limits off of yourself and kick the box.
I love it. I can't wait. You have given me so much excitement for the rest of the week. And I'm usually an optimistic person anyway, but this is just 10xing my enthusiasm.
Yes.
This has been So much fun. Thank you so much, Sistah Anyango, for stopping by today. I
Okay.
hope that you'll come back. And I just wanted to, before we pop out of here, we have Brittany Leon. She's actually in Texas joining us today on our live stream. So welcome, Brittany. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will see everyone next Grant Right Now Live. As always, we're Grant Writing for Good. I'm Rebecca Tuttle, and you're learning with Grant Right Now. Take care, everyone.